What is going on, everyone? Mike Singer and Tim Hyde with this week's final thoughts, observations, and prediction to preview Notre Dame versus Navy. 12 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff. You can find it on ABC, and the game will be played at M&T Bank Stadium, which is located in Baltimore, Maryland. And Tim will go ahead and get to your three keys to the game. But folks, please do hit the thumbs up on this video if you like what you see. And consider subscribing to our YouTube channel for more Notre Dame football content if you have not done so. Key number one, just win by one, baby, right?
Yes, key number one is exactly what that says. No Marshall, no Stanford repeat. Handle business. Those were emotional games. You had Ohio State with Marshall. Obviously, you had Stanford coming after the Vegas game and the emotion they played against Brigham Young. But Marcus Freeman's had those couple of hiccups now, and I think the Stanford one was just a shock to the system because obviously they've rallied really, really good since then with back-to-back big wins with Syracuse and Clemson. So, and then you kind of got Freeman starting to understand the program, his belief system. One of his quotes he talked about this week was confidence and a belief in what they're doing, and just keep preaching the same points over and over again. And I think it's coming home because obviously we've seen that the last 2 weeks. I think the Stanford one was a bigger shock to the system than Marshall, and I don't think these players are going to come out and let that happen, especially against Navy. Come out, take care of business on the road in an NFL stadium, play with a lot of energy and emotion, and just keep this thing moving.
Navy, of course, is just one of a few programs that still run the triple option
Yep.
in college football, and Freeman's team did pretty good against them last year, and we know Al Golden has some experience against the triple option as well.
Oh, yeah, without doubt. I mean, Freeman's he's had Army, Navy at Cincinnati, who he beat 2 years in a row and held them under their rushing average. And then the last year, the same thing at Notre Dame. They played lights out on defense, played their tails off, great schemes that they used, and just used those Notre Dame athletes. They played a lot of 4-4 last year, putting their guys in the alleys and playing real physical up front. And then another thing, I know, we talk about Marcus Freeman, but Al Golden as well. He's been a head coach at Temple in Miami, and he played the triple option. He played Army and Navy when he was at Temple, and obviously Paul Johnson, who's legendary triple option coach at Navy, and then went to Georgia Tech. Well, there's a period going back looking at all those scores from the Golden years. He won 6 games in a row against triple option, so he has seen it with every type of coach as well in the triple option. So he has experience. He's won games against it with lesser talent at Temple. And when he was at Miami, especially in his early years at Miami, when he was building it up, he beat Paul Johnson. So, yeah, I think those two coaches, two really good defensive football coaches, and Coach Golden and Coach Freeman, put their heads together and have a heck of a game plan getting ready here for Navy.
It's a good point. Yeah, he's beaten it before, and
Yep.
I'm sure those Navy, Army teams, same level of talent is probably maybe this Navy team is even not as good as some of those past teams. Of course, Georgia Tech teams were pretty good.
Yes.
He's had success. So, yeah, I mean, and he's never had this level of talent on his defense to work with. So I'm pretty bullish on Notre Dame's chances here, and we'll just get to that in a minute with our score predictions. But, yeah, who wins the rushing game? You got a battle of 2 rushing attacks, right?
Yep.
Notre Dame's offense is predicated on the ground game, and obviously Navy's is as well. Might be a under 3-hour game, Tim.
Well, they've actually had a couple 2.5-hour games in the past, which would be nice for us, right? We get to do our show quick. But no, in this game, you know what? It is Navy's really good rush defense. They're only giving up 3.1 yards a carry, in the top 10 in the country. Really, really good. I think they're 7th in the nation in rushing defense, which was the same number Clemson was, by the way, last week. Notre Dame drastically improved. They're averaging 4.5 yards a carry. So something's going to happen against Navy. Is Navy going to be stout against this Notre Dame front? And then Notre Dame, I've mentioned it a couple of times this year. They, after those first 2 games, 101 in the rankings. Now they're up to 28. And check this out, Mike. If you get rid of those first 2 games, which were a mess with the O-line, 2 different starting units, still trying to learn, Notre Dame would be number 12 right now in rushing offense. So they have really improved. That shows the improvement that they've done, Coach Heastan and these guys moving forward, Coach Parker at the tight ends, how much tight end plays they have. So that is going to be the thing. And then the rushing game is take away Navy. That's all they do. And the key with Navy is they average under 4 yards a carry. Notre Dame also averages under 4 yards a carry with Notre Dame's rushing defense. So I would expect the fronts on both sides for Notre Dame to take control and dominate this football game, right from the outset.
My favorite part of the week is just hearing Tim Hyde score prediction for a game. So how did you come up with your prediction this week, Tim?
You know what? Real easy. Notre Dame's number 20, right? And I started, Notre Dame's been obviously nationally ranked a ton in these games recently. So when was the last time a number 20 Notre Dame team played Navy? So all the way back to our good friend, Mr. Mike Goolsby, who was a true freshman in the beautiful year of 2000. Notre Dame played Navy in another NFL stadium when they played them out there in Orlando. So really, really interesting. And I'm going to go my prediction in honor of Goolsby, in honor of Notre Dame being ranked number 20. I'm going to go the same score as 2000. Notre Dame 45, Navy 14.
I've got Notre Dame 42, Navy 14, as I predicted in our Blue and Gold Illustrated magazine last week. So we write those predictions in our magazine before that would have been before the Clemson game. So we didn't really know what was going to happen. And you make that prediction a week early, but I'm sticking with it. I think Notre Dame's just going to blow them out. I think they're going to get, how about this? How about a bold prediction, Tim? 2 defense/special teams touchdowns. Make that 2 in a week, or 2 weeks in a row.
And then you have the Brandon Joseph versus Syracuse on the first play of the game, right? So, hey, that's a great point. The special teams have been outstanding. What Coach Mason's doing is just crazy, because now you could tell, even though they had the one block, Foskey got his finger, it looked like, almost on another one, and then the kicker is rushing. So these punt teams know, hey, we got to get rid of this thing a step quicker than what we're normal, because Notre Dame is they're bringing it with schemes and whatnot. And then defense, I think the mojo that they've had these last couple of weeks, playing some out, even in the UNLV game, they gave up a couple stupid runs in that game. They played lights out in that. So if they just keep this mojo going from these last 2 games as they get ready here for down the stretch.
And then go to our friends over at Odd Shark. Their projections 29, round that up 30 to 13. I think you would take
they
that.
got them. They got them with the point spread's 15.5. So right, covering by 2 there, basically 30 to 13.
Yeah, as we record this, that's the spread consensus is at 15.5, and it seems like the public's coming in on Notre Dame here, which I don't know, Tim. We're predicting big Notre Dame wins, so I don't know. Maybe you go Navy here, but yeah, no, I really do think Notre Dame's just going to shellac them. I mean, Navy is not good, banged up team. I think Notre Dame's going to trounce them, but yeah, this spread opened up at 17.5, and it's dropped down a couple points, which I find interesting. But yeah, Notre Dame, 15.5 point favorites. But yeah, we think that the Irish are going to roll. So that's going to do it for this week's video, folks. Please do hit that thumbs up if you liked what you saw in our content today, and you can go and subscribe to our channel for even more. Head to blueandgold.com as well for all of our staff predictions and so much more. Appreciate you all for watching, and we'll catch you next time.